Today we're going to make Disney inspired Mickey ghosts to add to our fish extensions on our upcoming cruise in September. These are just a cute little treat for people to have when we're on our Disney cruise. It's going to be during Halloween time, so this is a perfect add-in to our fish extensions. I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. So we're going to need, I'm going to do two different ghosts. I'm going to do a black and a white, the traditional that I make. And then I'm going to make a candy corn inspired one. So we're going to see how that one comes out together. I hope it comes out really cute because I think the colors are really cute for Halloween. So what you're going to need is you're going to need yarn first and foremost, because that's how you're going to make your project, your Disney ghost, Mickey ghosts. You're going to need scissors, and you're going to need, you don't need a pom-pom maker, but they're definitely nice to have when you're making pom-poms for such things as Mickey ears. And this is going to be perfect. You can wrap it around your fingers and do all of that, and there are videos out there for that. Right now I'm just going to focus on using the pom-pom maker itself. And then you need something to wrap your yarn to do the longer pieces for the body of the ghost. So this is for the ears, and then this is going to be for the body of the ghost, the head and the body itself. So we're going to use, and this is, to be honest with you, we were doing flooring, and this is just one of those free little samples that you get at Lowe's. So it's the perfect size, so that's what I use. So let's get started. We're going to start with our white yarn, because we're going to make a white body and then black ears for our first one. So how you do this is you just start wrapping the yarn around the wood or whatever object you have, and you want to wrap it about, I would say, 65 times. So just count. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut this off of the yarn. So you just cut, and then you want to cut a piece to tie, to use with the body of the Mickey right here. So it's going to be for a tie. We're going to use it as a tie. And then what we're going to do is we're going to remove the yarn from the object that you're using. In my case, it's this piece of wood. And we are going to tie this like so. And you want to tie it tight. Sometimes it loosens up when you tie it just one tie like that. So what I like to do, and I showed you that on purpose, what I like to do is I like to double tie it at the time. So how I do that is I just take my yarn and I tie it around once, and then I wrap it around again, and then I pull and I pull tight, and it actually stays tight. It doesn't come looser. It doesn't come loose, and it stays tight the way you want it. And I'm going to do one more loop just to secure it. Okay, so that's going to be the beginning of our ghost, and this is going to be used for the hanging portion of the ghost, because it's basically an ornament, so you want to be able to hang it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the yarn, and you're going to cut the bottom portion of it, and make sure you get all of your loops. And if you don't, that's okay. You can always go back and find your loops and cut them. And so that's what it's going to look like. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take another piece of yarn, and we're going to create Mickey's head. And how we do that is we take our yarn and we lay it, whoops, I'm having a fun old time here with all my tools. You're gonna lay the yarn out, and then you're gonna place Mickey on top of that yarn. And again, I'm gonna do the double tie at the very beginning because it stays tight. So you're gonna wrap it down once, wrap it around twice, and then you're going to pull, and that creates our ghost. So we're getting there. We're almost there with our Mickey ghost. And then what I do is I tie one more time just to make it secure. And then I cut the excess. Actually, I don't cut them usually. I just bring them down and I just make them the same size as the other stuff, the other pieces. And that's the beginning of Mickey right there, the Mickey ghost. And to make the Mickey ears, we use the pom-pom maker. And how we do this is we first choose the color that we want to do his ears, and I want to do black. And so I grab my yarn. There was a knot there and I don't need the knot, so you're going to grab your pom-pom maker and you're going to start wrapping the yarn around the pom-pom maker like so. And you want to make it even because you want your pom-pom to come out even. So you're just going to wrap it around like so. And you're going to do this until it's filled. I considered mine filled when this portion right here is pretty flush with the pom-pom maker itself. So I just add a couple extra loops around to get it flush, and then what I do is you close it, and then you do the same thing on the other side of the pom-pom maker, like so. And then once that one is full, you're going to close it, and we're going to cut the excess yarn. And then what we do is we take the pom-pom maker and our scissors and we cut down the seam basically of this pom-pom maker right here. So I call this the seam right here. So this part and this part right here, it kind of makes a seam, and we're going to go straight across this, or right, follow this seam here. And you're just going to cut the yarn. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side, but you have to hold it because sometimes the pom-pom maker comes apart and then all of this loose yarn will fall off, and you don't want that to happen. So secure your pom-pom maker with your fingers and cut the yarn. And there we go. And then we need to tie the yarn together. So we're going to cut a piece of yarn for us to tie around the pom-pom maker. And how we do that is we take the yarn and we wrap it around the seam. And again, I'm going to call this a seam, I don't know, for lack of better words. I'm going to wrap it around the seam right here. So we put the yarn in the seam, and we're going to tie it. And again, I'm going to use the double tie that I use. So I'm going to wrap it around once, and I'm going to wrap it around twice, and then I'm going to pull as tight as I can pull it without breaking the yarn. And it's pretty sturdy, so you can pull it pretty tight. And then what I do is, to make sure that the yarn doesn't come apart, I turn it over and I just do one on this side. I do another tie here and then just pull it. So what that does is it secures all of this yarn together so it doesn't fall apart and make a big mess. Okay, and then you take the yarn out and you pull the pom-pom maker apart, and it comes apart very easily, and then you place it back together because we're going to make another one. Mickey has 2 ears, so we're going to have to do another pom-pom. So this is what it looks like from the beginning. There's another step that we have to do, which is cutting the yarn to make Mickey's ears, because right now it's too big. It would look a little bit funny that way. So what we do is I have a bowl that I use for this portion, because yarn can make a big mess and it really makes your nose itch. So you'll have a lot of fun with the yarn. So what we do is we just cut our pom-pom down to the point we feel comfortable with Mickey's ears, the size of Mickey's ears. So we cut most of the little scragglies off. There's still a few more. Let's see, let's get those. And so that's much better for his ear there. And so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make another ball. Pom-pom. You take the yarn and you wrap it around the pom-pom maker. This takes a little practice. When I first started using the pom-poms, I got a little aggravated, but just everything takes practice. So just figure out your little area here and figure out how you want to do it, and then just start wrapping. Put it back together again, and here's our pom-pom. Look how cute they are. So now we want to make it this size, so we're going to cut all the excess yarn off until we get it to be about that size. So here's our pom-poms. See, the yarn makes a big mess. Here's Mickey, and here's his ears. And you're wondering, how do we secure Mickey's ears? Well, we're going to use hot glue to secure Mickey's ears. So I probably should have said that at the beginning of the video, but you're going to need hot glue or any other type of adhesive that you would like to use. Some people sew them. I'm going to use hot glue. And so what we do is we take our hot glue gun and we just place some hot glue onto Mickey's pom-pom ear here. And you probably want to do a pretty good amount to allow it to secure pretty good. And then you're going to find your spot where you want his ear, and you're going to place it. And there you go. And there's Mickey's ear right there. And then we're going to do the same thing for the other side. We want to figure out where we're going to place his ear. And then we're going to use our hot glue. And we're going to put a pretty good amount. Don't put too terribly much to where it flows over and it's seen on the around the ear, but you definitely want enough to where it's going to secure on his head. And we have one more step. So here's the Mickey Ghost. They come out so cute. So you remember the piece that we used to tie all of this together? We're going to use that as our hanging for, basically this is an ornament, and so we want to hang him. He's a ghost, so we're going to hang him up so he's showing. So we're going to use this as our hanging piece. Now you can embellish this with some beads or balls or whatever you want to do. You can definitely embellish with jewelry, these types of balls, whatever you want to do with them. So let's say we want to put a ball on this one. We can. There's nothing wrong with that. So what I would do basically is we're going to tie this part right here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to tie it up here at the top as well. And that's if you want to do the embellishment. You don't have to put an embellishment on there. It's totally up to you. Oops. And there you have it. You have your Mickey ornament. Okay, so we just made a black and white Mickey ghost ornament. And now I'm going to do a candy corn color ornament. So you're gonna need your pom-poms. I already cut one, made one and cut it to the desired shape and size I wanted. And then you're gonna need another one. These are gonna be Mickey's ears. I'll show you how to make it with the pom-pom maker, and then I'll show you how to cut it here soon. I want to also do the colors of candy corn, which is white, orange, and yellow. So these are Mickey's ears, and then this is gonna be his body. So how do we make his ghost body? We're gonna need a piece of wood or something about this size right here, and we're gonna use this to wrap the yarn around to create Mickey's ghost body. So I'm going to make it tricolor, so I'm gonna do multiple wraps, and they're gonna total about 65 wraps, but I'm gonna alternate between the colors. Actually, you know what you can do really is you can put all three together if it behaves itself, and you can wrap all three of them together just like this. So you would grab them just like this, and then you just wrap 60. Actually, you don't need to do it 65 times. You'll probably want to do it like 20, a little over 20 times would be good. So because you have 3 pieces of yarn this time. So go ahead and start wrapping. I did about 26, and then what you're going to do is you're going to cut off the excess, but you're going to need some yarn to tie his body together. So just cut some excess yarn off. I'm going to use 3 just to keep it sane. So how we do that is we have to remove the yarn from our piece of wood, and how we do that is we just pull it over and remove it. And you want to try to keep your hand underneath so you can keep this all together, because you're going to tie this in between the yarn here, okay? So let's grab it here, pull it off, and there you go. And that's what we have. So we're going to take our yarn, this yarn right here, and we're going to wrap it under, and we're going to tie this to create Mickey's body. So how I tie it is I tie it, you have to tie it tight. So what I do is I tie it once, but then I do another tie at the same time. So you're gonna tie it again, and then you're going to pull it tight, and that will not loosen up. That's not going to come apart like it would had you just done it one time. So that's, and then I tie it one more time just to make sure it's secure. And then this part is going to be our ornament holder, hanger for the ghost. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut this apart to make Mickey's body. So you're going to pull and then cut, and there we go. And sometimes I will cut and make it even at the bottom, but sometimes I just leave it because it looks more natural. But for him, for this one, there's a lot of scragglies under there. So what I'll do is I'll just eye it. I'll eye it, and then I'll just cut straight across. You can cut at an angle, you can cut straight across, you can do whatever you want. This is your project, so it makes it a little bit more even for him. And then we want to create his head. So again, I'm going to keep it consistent and use 3 pieces, the orange, yellow, and white of the yarn. Keep it consistent here. You need a pretty good size piece. And then you're going to lay it straight down, and you're going to bring his body, and then we're going to create his head right here with this yarn right here. So we're going to tie it again twice to make it tight. So you're going to do it once, and then before you tighten it, you're going to do it again. And then you're going to pull tight. And there we go. We just made Mickey's head right here. So, and to keep it secure, you can turn it over and tie it on this side just to keep it secure. However you want to do it. I do it different ways sometimes each time I do it. So, and I'll do it again. Tie it one more time. Since the other side is so secure, I'm not too worried about this one, but there we go. And then I just let that usually hang down, and then I cut the excess off again. So, and there we go. Now you will have to create his ears. So here's his body. Here's his body and his hanging device here. I call it, it's not that, but anyway, he is an ornament, so we need something to hang him with. So there we go. There's his little thing. Now, this is going to be one of his ears, and this is going to be his other ear, but I want to show you, I know I just showed you with the black and white Mickey ghost, but I want to show you how to do the pom-pom with this one. Now, we can make a multicolored, and that's what I want to try. This is such a small pom-pom maker, we're going to see if it works. I think it would be really cute if it does. So let's just try it, you know. Nothing ever will come out perfect. However, we can always try it, right? Never hurts to try. So let's open up our pom-pom maker. And I've never done it with 3 things of yarn before, so we're gonna see how this works out. I'm trying something new, and we're gonna tie it around. You probably won't have to do as many wraps this time because you're using 3 pieces of yarn at the same time. Okay, and then you're going to cut off the excess, and then you're going to cut down the seam of the pom-pom maker, and watch out for your fingers because this can be a little dangerous. You're using sharp scissors. And you definitely want sharp scissors when you're cutting yarn, because I'll tell you, I've used dull scissors doing this and it's a pain. I can't even tell you. It will take you a lot longer to do this process if you use dull scissors. And just make sure you get all of them cut. And then you're gonna take, I'm gonna just use one piece of yarn for this part because the seam is not very big and I don't want to break it. So you take an extra piece of yarn and you're going to tie it, all the little loose pieces of yarn in this pom-pom maker together. And so we want to make sure it's tight. So how I do that is I wrap it, I tie it once, and then I tie it one more time before I pull it tight. That way I have a very secure tie knot there, and I'm going to pull it as hard as I can without breaking the yarn. And then I'm going to wrap it around the side as well. And then you can just cut off the excess. And then you're going to open up the pom-pom, pull it apart. And sometimes these little things fall off, and that's okay. You're just going to place it right back on there. They're really flimsy. I think I got these on Amazon, but I got some at Joann Fabrics that are wonderful. They're a lot thicker than this one is, but I use the one I can find at the moment. Okay, and there's our pom-pom. Okay, so that came out really, really cute. The pom-pom with the different colors, the candy corn inspired colors here for Halloween. Now what we do is we have to cut it down to the size that we want. So we gotta figure out, do we want an orange or do we want a yellow to go with it? I don't know yet. Let's see. So you just start cutting all the excess. Okay, so which one do we want to use? I think, let's see. Do I want to do orange? Do I want to do yellow? I think I'm gonna do orange and then the candy corn color. So and there is our Mickey Ghost candy corn style. So now the last part we have to do is just tie this. So how I'm gonna do that, I'm just gonna take it. Let's see if I can do this easy here. Got 3 pieces of yarn going at the moment, so it's a little bit more difficult. But we can do it. Now you can either leave this little tassel on, which is cute in and of itself, or you can cut it down to the knot that we made, whichever you prefer. I think I'm going to keep it on this one. And look how cute that came out. I mean, super cute. You can even go as far as adding faces to these. That would be cute. And look how cute those came out. You got your candy corn inspired Mickey ghost ornament, and then you have the traditional white ghost body with the black ears. And You can make garland with these. You can do anything really with these. They would be super cute. I hope you enjoyed.